I have advice for Kyle Shanahan. This is such a great week for Kyle Shanahan to try some new things. You just had a bye week. You just had an opportunity to self-scout. Maybe, he's just going week to week and he's trying to figure out what to do with Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings and get them up to speed in the offense. But I think now is a great time, Kyle, to not do that anymore. You've been trying all season to make Jawan Jennings what he was last year, to make Ricky Pearsall into Brandon Ayuk, but it's not working. 10 of the 13 interceptions the Niners quarterbacks have thrown this season have been passes targeted for Jennings and Pearsall. So the wide receiver room isn't great. You can figure it out in the offseason, but they should not be the focus of the passing game. Also, the quarterback is less than 100% healthy. His passes are floating more than they did in the past. He's not driving the throws down the field. Those wide receivers don't give you yak. You want yards after the catch. You're doing just fine throwing short passes. It worked for Mac. It's working for Brock. It's not an explosive offense. So, Kyle, instead of forcing the issue like you tend to do because you're extremely stubborn, which is both your best and worst quality, fair to say, I was talking about this with Tom Walsh yesterday. You know Tom Walsh. Your dad knows Tom Walsh. Your dad and Tom coached together on the Raiders. Tom is a genius. And he pointed out that the biggest difference between you and Sean McVay, like, is Sean McVay as smart as you, Kyle? Is he as clever with his play designs? Maybe not. Maybe not. I think a lot of people who really study the sport feel like you are the best play designer in the league. Maybe Ben Johnson has surpassed you, but you're up there. The difference between you and Sean McVay, Kyle, is personnel usage. And I think that's why he has a Super Bowl victory and you don't. Because, it's like the oldest truism in football, but like X's and O's don't win Super Bowls. The Jimmies and the Joes do. And your plays are great, but so are his. His usage of personnel is better than yours because your usage of personnel on offense is strange. Like, you drafted Jordan James, you don't use him even though your running game isn't working. You traded up for Isaac Orendo, you don't use him even though your running game isn't working. You force the ball to these wide receivers who are struggling really bad when you have Kendrick Bourne. He's playing well, but you don't use him. You have Jake Tonjes establishing himself as a legit weapon when George Kittle's out. Kittle comes back. You stop using Tonjes, so you keep using Juszczyk, who's been the same player for 10 years. So now that you've had a week off, a week to self-scout, I'd like to see some new wrinkles in terms of personnel usage. Not like necessarily new concepts in your playbook, but it would be cool to see maybe like a 6 offensive line formation or some 2 tight end formations. You do that sometimes. Do it more. Some 3 tight end formations. Like, what's the point of having Pearsall on the field if he doesn't get the ball? Wouldn't it be better to take him off the field and replace him with Luke Farrell or Jake Tonjes? Have 3 tight ends on the field, really force the issue running the ball, put defenses in tough positions. What are they going to do? Are they going to put extra linebackers in the field, extra safeties? They're going to take out a corner and then throw the ball to these tight ends. It's like, here's a stat for you, Kyle. Brock Purdy, he's your quarterback for now. He's having kind of a rough season. His numbers statistically aren't great. Like, his quarterback rating is 87, which is way below what it should be, what it's been in the past, what Mac's doing. So why is it so low? Part of it's on Brock, right? Like, he's got more interceptions, but these interceptions are when he's targeting 2 people. When he doesn't target Jawan or Ricky, his passer rating, Brock's, is 106.6. So there's no reason to do this. If all of his passes went to Kittle, McCaffrey, Juszczyk, Tonjes, and Farrell, they'd have a very efficient passing attack. It's not like getting the wide receivers involved is stretching the field or making the offense explosive or in any way. It's not improving the run game. It's not improving the passing game. It's not improving the yak. It's not improving the third down conversion percentage. This is what Sean McVay would do. It's what he did do. Puka Nacua went down. Sean McVay had to figure something out on the fly, realized he had a bunch of talented tight ends. One games featuring them. Then when Puka Nacua came back, he's like, okay, now I have a whole extra thing in my pocket I can go to destroy you. It just added to the offense. He didn't change it. It just made it more difficult to prepare for, more voluminous. And I think Kyle could do the same thing. I'd like to see him react to what's happening on the field. Because again, he's so stubborn. He feels like he knows what's going to happen before it happens. And if things don't break the way he thought they would, that he just needs to wait because they will eventually. We're in week 15. You're using Christian McCaffrey too much. You're not using George Kittle enough. You're forcing the ball to your two starting wide receivers. If you would increase Kittle's target share, decrease the number of carries for McCaffrey, and stop throwing so many passes to your two starting wide receivers, the offense would be objectively better. You got two quarterbacks. You got two offensive tackles. You got a really good playbook, Kyle. Just use all of your personnel like Saleh does, like Brant Boyer does, like Sean McVay does. That's one of the final frontiers for you. And fortunately, you got me, and I can keep reminding you. The fact that Jake Tonjes hasn't gotten a target in like more than a month is criminal. He's really good. He's a weapon for you in the red zone. He showed it. He should be getting targets over Ricky until Ricky shows something. Ricky looks like he's not the same player since he hurt his knee. So, I don't know, Kyle. Don't be so stubborn. Stop using the same players. You got to have this offense needs to evolve. Yeah, it's great that you have Christian and Juszczyk, and you know them and they know your offense and you feel comfortable calling plays with them on the field, but like what's the future here? Those two guys aren't really they're not making the running game any better. Robert Saleh may not be here beyond this year, but if he is, he's building this whole young core. I'm not going to use the word core, but a whole young defense. What's the next iteration of this offense? Tonjes is in his mid-20s. Farrell's in his mid-20s. Also, another piece of advice for Kyle Shanahan. Sky Moore, dude. He's earned it. He's playing great. He's one of the MVPs of this team as the returner, punts and kicks. You have no explosiveness on your offense. The most explosive person on your team right now is Sky Moore returning punts and kicks. You have no gadget player in your offense. Your offense was always at its best when Debo could run an end around, take a screen, catch a pass behind the line of scrimmage and break a tackle and go for 20, 30, 40 yards. If anyone on this team can do it, it's Sky Moore. Give him a look. It's not like Debo Samuel was any good last year. I mean, you went out of your way to call plays, scheme up plays for Debo, who would just drop the ball. I think Sky Moore could do what Debo does, maybe even better, considering he's younger and hungrier. Well, no one's really as hungry as Debo. Sorry, I couldn't help myself on that one. I would like to see Sky Moore actually have a role on the offense. I think this offense would be so much better if Kyle wasn't so focused on the 5 starters he paid. Bourne should have a role. Moore should have a role. Tonjes and Farrell should play more. Demarcus Robinson doesn't need to have a role. They tried. Pearsall and Jennings should earn their targets. You don't just give it to them because what? You want a comp pick when Jennings leaves. That's what that's about. And with Pearsall, you're just trying to justify the draft selection, which doesn't look like a great draft selection. But it's early. But the more you force it, the worse it looks. Instead of throwing them targets and having it not work out, why don't you throw it out someone else and be like, it has nothing to do with Ricky. It's just that Jake Tonjes is so good. Jonathan Cucumber Melon says, if we make a run, why even need Ayuk back? Well, because the wide receiver room is terrible. And it's really affecting Brock Purdy's ability to be a playmaker because when he gets out of the pocket and holds the ball and looks for someone down the field, who does he see, Jonathan? Who does he see? Jawan, blanketed. You throw it up to Jawan down the field. That always works out. Seven Dennis says, good game to reintroduce introduce Garendo. Kyle, hello. I bet you he won't. Somehow Garendo's going to go the whole season without carrying the ball one time, and it's kind of amazing.